Welcome to Meet the Author, where you can join in on insightful conversations with best-selling and award-winning indie published authors. Your hosts today are Rob and Joan, who themselves are indie published authors, book publicists, and paranormal investigators with Tampa Bay Spirits, based in Tampa Bay, Florida. Thanks for dropping by. And now, on with the show.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Joan. We're really glad that you're watching the show tonight, whether you're watching us live on Wednesday at 7 p.m., or if you're listening to the podcast, or if you've watched us live on one of our many channels that you can watch during the week. We're glad you are here in the audience today with us.
For sure. A couple things to talk about. Want to make sure everybody knows to tune in to Voice of Indie podcast on blogtalkradio.com tonight after this show. There's two ways you can comment if you're watching that show. If you're listening to that show, I should say.
Yeah, you can't watch it.
Can't watch it because it's just a podcast.
Right.
But go to Twitter and go to @FreshInkGroup and see the pinned tweet. If you comment with a hashtag Fresh Ink Group, they'll get your comment and they'll put it on the air for you and they'll answer the questions. Or you can call in to the station live, and it's 516-453-9902. Now, tonight's guest, let's see, who is it? It is Jerry Pate, and also, not pictured here, is Robert G. Williscroft, both authors. And so they're going to be on that show. That's immediately after our show.
But really, I think they want to see who's on our show tonight.
I think that's true. Coming up on Saturday at 5:30, right here where you're at, episode Rewind is episode 39. It's Tori Gates. He's a seasoned broadcaster and author of young adult and crossover fiction with exotic settings that deal with real life issues and social problems. Tori's a good guy. He's been a guest on here a couple of times. And we got a couple comments, huh?
Yeah, George Dismuke says, I'm here, at least what's left
Oh, my
of me
goodness. Hello,
Hey,
George.
George.
You got to be whooped.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. It's not easy making a movie.
Oh, George, by the way, got your koozie here. I hope you can see it here. Got your book cover on there. That's for Siren Song.
Yep. And Marjorie Daring, hello, I'm here on time. Hey, Marjorie, very good. Talk fast. We may have storms rolling in. We have them here too, Marjorie.
They just rolled in, yeah.
Or she can just listen fast, LOL.
Yeah.
Paul Hollis says, hey, Joan and Rob and everyone. Hello.
Hey, Paul.
Oh, Beth Riley Gregory is
Beth,
here.
how
She
you
says, hi, friends.
One of
Beth
our team
Riley,
members.
yes, is the founder of Tampa Bay Spirits.
Yeah, right.
That's our paranormal team.
Whew.
Glad
Okay.
to have you in the audience. We're really excited to have our guest on today. His name is Ted VANSON. He is actually our boss on WLFE-DB.com. So be nice to him.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Everyone behave in the... Well, wait a minute. No, I don't think he wants everybody to behave.
He's written books on the paranormal. So let's bring him on so he can tell us all about it and how it got started and all that kind of stuff.
All right. There we go. Hey,
Hi,
Ted.
Ted.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm at work, sitting at the bowling desk. Isn't that cool?
Ooh,
It
that's
is-
pretty cool.
It is cool.
It's right up your alley.
Ah, bad pun already.
Beth Riley says Les is here too. Les
Les.
is her husband, and they were the founders of Tampa Bay Spirits.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
That leads me to our introduction.
Yeah.
The title of the show kind of set up a,
Adversarial.
thing. It's not
Which
meant
it
to be.
isn't meant
No.
to be an adversarial.
What we want to talk about is old school techniques
and
new
techniques.
tech.
Pros and cons.
Pros
to
and
both
cons
of
to
them.
both of those.
Yeah.
And we believe in both. We're firm believers in old school, and
Well, there are some things that we're
some
not.
things that we don't like about the new tech.
Yeah, I
And
don't
there's some
like
things
ghost
about old
box
school.
and spirit box and all that kind of stuff.
I don't like dowsing rods. Some of those old school
Yeah.
things.
And
But-
and Ted agrees with us that no matter what technique you're using or how many times you've made contact with something and who that something may identify it as by answering questions, you don't really know who you're talking to.
No, you have no idea.
I mean, it's
Ever.
we know it's energy. This much we know. But what that energy is, we don't know.
No.
Right? No.
We don't. We
So
don't.
You've been doing this about 35 years, right?
38. 38.
38. But who's counting?
Apparently you were.
Well, I read it on your bio.
He misread it.
But it's an older.
That's
not
okay.
An older bio, yeah.
That's all right.
There you go.
So yeah, now I notice I need a haircut. But anyway, yeah, 38 years, did it right out of high school, 1985. But I was into it prior to that because at 7 I had my first experience.
Okay.
And as a kid at 7 o'clock. At 7 years old, what do you really know? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, so.
What, you want to tell us what happened?
Sure. As my parent, we were in the middle of switching homes at the time, so we ended up moving in with my grandparents for a short period of time. And she used to put us to bed. We'd go upstairs. We're sleeping upstairs, and she would at night come up and kiss me on the forehead and say, "I love you. Good night, Teddy. We'll see you in the morning." And this one night went as clockwork. Nothing different whatsoever. Except the fact that she added an extra line and it was something, things will be okay. That's what she said. And the next morning I went down and we were talking about life and stuff. And I remember saying, "Where's Grandma?" I wanted to give her a hug and tell her, before I went off and did, school. And that was first grade, I think. And man, it's so long ago. And she goes, "You need to sit down." I'm like, "What?" And then that's when my mom explained where Grandma was no longer with us and she had been passed from the afternoon before.
Oh, so your first experience was your grandma coming to say goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much.
That happens a lot. I know.
It's very common, to be honest with you.
It is very common.
And it's very awesome.
And I know that we know one girl whose sister, who's 4 years, and she was little, and her 4-year-old sister came and sat with her on her bed all night, and she had passed away, and the little girl didn't know it. I mean, she's a woman now, but that was her first experience. So, but I think that happens a lot. Yeah. My parents always told me that ghosts weren't real, and I always say to my friends now, I should have said to them, "Come in and tell the 10 people that are standing around my bed that they're not real." Because they're wanting to talk.
Right.
So what got you into deciding to write a book?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is over the years, like I said in the beginning, that when you're a little kid, you don't really, it stuck with me through my teen years. And then I'm like, I wonder if there's a reason why this happened. Why does it still haunt me? You know what I mean? So I got into a lot of reading, and I loved history, and I still love history. And you can go back to, to the Egyptian civilization. You can go farther back to where even caveman times, where they would draw on the walls, and everything from Bigfoot to UFOs to spirits to ghosts to. So for me, it was like, man, there's got to be something to this.
Right.
It's kind of like one of those things. If 100,000 people see Bigfoot, you just can't throw that claim away.
Right. The same with UFOs. I mean, if I've heard a lot of people say, even if 90% of the people are wacky and lying, there's 10% that isn't. But I don't think there's 90% that are lying. No.
There's just too many. There's just too many claims, too many eyewitness accounts on everything. Everything from that's under the umbrella of the paranormal. So everything from your Bigfoot to your Mothman to your ghost to your hauntings to UFOs.
Absolutely.
There's just too much.
Listen, I
So-
want to show you some pictures that our daughter sent us today.
Right. She just sent them, yesterday or
Well,
today.
yesterday. She took them Tuesday night outside her house. Let me show you real quick. See that light? That was just hovering over her patio in Mission Viejo. There we go.
Another picture of it. But here's a close-up. She did a close-up.
With it now, this is with her cell phone, so they're not the best pictures.
That's what it looks like when you zoom in on it.
Interesting.
Now,
Here's the crazy thing. We saw the same thing probably 15 years ago
yeah, over
same-
Orlando.
over Orlando.
Only 2 of those came on. One came on.
There was no sound to this, and there was no sound to
Right.
ours.
So
Oh,
the
yeah.
UFO guys would love that stuff.
We sent it to Bob
We
Long.
sent it to Bob Long.
Did
And
you?
we told
Yeah.
her to send it to
Bob
MUFON.
is amazing. Those guys are amazing.
Bob and Jim are
Now, the
amazing.
interesting thing is I took the first picture on my phone.
Uh-huh.
I took the first picture and I
Blew it up.
zoomed in on it, and it looks just like that other picture
The
that she
close-up
sent
that
us.
she took.
Because she sent
Wow.
that close-up picture.
Interesting.
It looks the same, exactly the same. So it's not
Yeah.
something she changed or anything. That's
So
what
you're
it looks
sending
like.
the pictures from your daughter to Bob, or you already did?
We did
We already did.
tonight. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just did it
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, we got to send them to Jim too.
Cool.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
Jim still is with. But let's talk about your books, though.
Yeah, let's
But
talk
I
about
agree with you.
and your books.
Our first investigation was into UFOs. Actually, that
Yeah.
was back in 1976, and then it quickly escalated to, other paranormal stuff, just because of our life and what was happening, the crazy things that were happening. And we've also gone Bigfoot hunting, and it's funny because our daughter was sending us real-time sightings. We were in Cottonwood,
Mhm.
Arizona, and there were real-time sightings right where we were on the Verde River in the campground. And we would go down there and we would see nothing, and somebody else would have just seen it. So we've never caught sight of Bigfoot, but I'd really like to.
I've heard things, but I've never seen anything.
You impersonated him.
That's true.
Oh. Okay.
All
Sorry.
right, here we go. Now, was this the first book you wrote
Actually,
about
yeah.
paranormal?
Yeah, it is the first book. And the reason we titled it Flashlight Recorder and Comfortable Shoes was because basically that's what you need. You don't need to go and spend all that crazy money on gadgetry. That's my
Right.
word, gadgetry. But you really don't need anything else. Your body is the number one tool. Can you
Absolutely.
prove what your body's going through? That's a little harder to do, but
Right.
you need to. And Keith worked for the UK for the Department of Defense, and he was also an investigator. So we kind of worked
Did you
back.
just have a paranormal happening there? I bet he did.
At all?
Oh no, it's somebody
Oh.
at work.
Yeah, sorry. She's trying to give me 1 sec.
Sure.
Go ahead. Actually, while he's gone, we can show you another clip. Beth, we have the clip from that investigation where we the flashlight.
Give the intro on it about where we're at on the countdown and stuff.
Okay, so just so you know, this was at the end of the night. We were taking down all of our equipment. Otherwise, this would be better. And this isn't very well edited. Rob just threw it together real fast to put on here. But we had asked this entity how many kids she had, because the house that we were investigating at, as we were packing up to go home, we'd been looking for a male entity that had been bothering the young woman in the house and never got nothing all night long. I had my flashlight on the table beside me. I wasn't asking any questions. I had it turned partly on so to be easy for the spirit to turn it on, and it turned on. And I said, "Oh, are you a male? Because that's what we were looking for." No response. I said, "Are you a female?" And the flashlight came on. She answered 24 questions on cue, And one of them was the girl said, I think I know who it is. My aunt, she just passed away a month ago. And she said, ask.
For how many she has.
If she had a lot of kids, it might be. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you meant 4, turn the flashlight off now. Thank you. I think she just turned it on again. Not.
So that was the countdown on the number of kids that the spirit had, 4.
She did have 4.
And that confirmed for the young lady that was.
You can hear her go, oh.
She goes, oh.
She was so surprised.
She's like, ah.
So,
sorry about that.
It's okay, no worries.
No problem. George Dismuke says, I used to know a female Bigfoot, bad breath and very flatulent.
I think I dated her.
When you were talking about your body is, your best instrument, now you're singing our song for our whole team. That's
well, the thing is, your body knows when there's something going on. It's like when you're standing there washing dishes and somebody comes up behind you. You know that. You feel that. Your body lets you know ahead of time. So the whole thought process is that's the same thing. If there's a spirit behind you, as you would pretty much get the same vibe, I guess the best way to put it, with your body.
Sometimes you get goosebumps.
Yeah, and the hair standing up on the back of your neck, Yeah, the problem is proving it.
The problem is what?
The problem is proving it.
Proving
it is a problem. Yeah,
and it is no matter what. Now, the only things that are somewhat conclusive are things you might get on your tape recorder, on your digital tape recorder.
But
if they say things,
but you can't.
But you don't know who's
that.
saying it. All you know is, if it's an answer to a question, at least you're dealing.
If we're someplace and we get an EVP, all right, and we hear a voice, we know we didn't say that. That's not proof for anyone else.
Right.
If I played that for somebody else, just like I played that flashlight segment, only the people that were there know we weren't touching the flashlight. We weren't doing anything to that flashlight. And
we know all the questions that led up to what
her saying she had 4 children.
Yeah.
But nobody watching that knows that. That's anecdotal to them. And for all they know, we faked it. And you can fake so much now. So you're right. You can't prove it. But you can go out and investigate it for yourself,
Right. And that's the problem with a lot of the stuff that we're doing with the paranormal that we've been doing. And it's nothing new. Between what we consider evidence, what we look at and say, well, it could be or couldn't be. There's just the paranormal field is it's so new. It's so, it's the investigating part of it is, and trying to validate what you catch, whether it be an EVP or a light going off on a K2 or whatever the case may be.
Right.
We're all still sitting here scratching our heads saying, how are we going to be able to prove this stuff? How are we going to be able to validate what we have? And believe it or not.
Oh, you froze. Oh, I hope we didn't lose you.
There I am.
There you are. Okay.
The problem is there is no way to prove any of this. It's very hard to it's just very hard to validate unless you have history. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
The history where I said I was studying back when I was in the teenager, I was studying different cultures, different faiths, different realities. Oh my goodness, everybody's calling me. And I'm declining right now. I studied theology. Damn it. I studied theology. I went through, I became ordained in 93. So I went through and I learned cultures. I learned religion and faith and belief. And I've just always been big into history. I'm one of those nut jobs that when I get to Ireland or I get to London, the first thing I do is I stick my hand on a building because it's so much older over there than what is today, over here. So, people call me nuts, but I love doing it, so.
It's okay. I lay my hands on trees. We were just talking about that other night. So
you have to.
Caleb Pirtle says, so many want to believe but are afraid to believe, so they hide behind skepticism. And Joe Conjol says, hi, Robin Jones. Sorry, I can't stay at the dealership getting a repair and rental squared away. I'm going to have to catch this after the fact. Okay, no problem, George. Joe. God bless and get it fixed soon. And George Dismukes says, the audio keeps getting out of sync for some reason. Yeah, well, George, Ted is at work and
I'm on a cell phone.
He's on
his cell phone, so the audio keeps going.
We have storms around here too, so all over the place. So who knows, what's going on?
George is saying that he had an experience in a Mayan pyramid back in the 70s.
George told us about
us about this. He was in a Mayan pyramid. It was raining, and of course, oh gosh, George, what was the pyramid made of? I kind of remember. Becca Jones says hi. She's here.
Hi, Becca.
I forget. It was made out of a highly conductive material anyway. I forget which one it was made of. I don't think it was granite.
Limestone, maybe.
Limestone. I think it was made out of limestone. And so he heard.
Limestone.
He did. Yeah. He just said, yes, pyramid made of limestone. And he was in the middle of the pyramid and he started hearing a bunch of voices and there was no one there. He went out, he went and looked all around the pyramid, came back in, still a bunch of voices. So, yeah.
We're going to take about a 2-minute break for commercials for our sponsors.
Think of your questions,
Think of your questions.
We'll show you his other book. Talk a little bit more about his first book.
Nobody go away.
Word from our sponsor.
They thought the siren was dead. In the novel Siren Song by author George Dismukes, James Harmon shot her twice. Several people saw her dead body sinking slowly into the abyss. But now, in Siren Song 2, evidence suggests that she may still be alive.
She killed that boatload of people. It was her! And she's just getting started!
Angie, that's impossible.
The cold chill up my spine tells me it's not impossible. We've got to start all over again. And this time, do it right.
Siren Song 2. The story continues. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Get your copy today.
At Indie Book Source, you can shop by genre or by author, and you will be buying direct from the author's main purchase link. We offer hundreds of titles in formats that include ebooks, paperback, hardbound, and audiobook. Support an indie author. Visit indiebooksource.com today.
In a world where advancing technology is outpacing crime solving, the O'Rourke team continues their relentless pursuit of justice. Bioprints is the first book in the O'Rourke crime novel series where it's high-tech crime versus old-fashioned detective work. Visit carternovels.com or amazon.com and check out Bioprints today.
So George says, the pyramid of the giant jaguar at Tikal in Guatemala. It happened, and I don't really give a rip who believes it or not. I still have the goosebumps to prove it. We believe you, George.
We believe you, George.
But anyway,
that's a cool story.
It is a cool story. And let me go back to your first book here. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about Flashlight Recorder and Comfortable Shoes? What will people find in that book? Whoops. You there, Ted?
Okay, well, I'm having problems with the sound here for some reason. It just went down, and I'm having a hard time hearing anything.
Okay.
Okay, I just asked you to tell us what flashlight, etc., is about. Your first book. Give us a little bit.
Well, the first book, as long as you guys can hear me fine.
We can.
You can, okay. The first book, I may have to put headphones in my phone, but the first book basically is a basic, it's just very basic. So whether you're a novice investigator or you're brand new to the field, it gives you an idea of how to do an investigation. Okay. And there is no I want to say standard. There is no standard for all of us on how to investigate. I'm going to try my headphones here. Sorry. And so you can't. It's an outline. It's a guide, basically. There's some other things that are in there that we've included. A couple of old school things. You can tell his views versus my views and how things are done, because the UK investigates a little different than we do.
Oh, yes.
That is true.
They do.
So that didn't work either. So there's a lot of differences, but the basics are there. Okay. He believes more into the orb situation where I don't.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And he flips the orb around and he zooms in on it, and there's a baby in there, there's a head in there, and I'm just like, oh my God, you're doing way too much work to go for something that we have no definitive proof whatsoever that it's attached to the paranormal. But saying that, there's no proof that there isn't either. But there's always a flip coin, you know what I mean, with all this stuff. So I would rather not, at this point, further my study into the orb situation and work on the things that seem a little more plausible.
Right.
Wouldn't it be great if we found out they were snow globes?
I wish I could hear you.
Oh, no, you probably don't.
Hold on one sec. So I'm gonna pop out and pop back in. Okay,
Right.
let's see if that makes a difference.
Ourselves in the meantime.
All right.
Okay, in a minute. Don't go away, anybody.
So,
we're here.
Did everybody get to see the flashlight clip that I showed? Because that's pretty cool. I know that there have been articles written saying that can be a short in the flashlight that's turning it on and off. Just so you know, those flashlights, I've tried it over and over again. 3 hours one time. Here we go.
Yay, I can hear.
You're back.
Great.
You're back.
I was just saying that, there have been lots of articles written saying the flashlight thing doesn't work because it could be a short in the flashlight. However, with our flashlights, and we've used the same ones for the last 15 years, we have left on in this last time, after this last investigation, we just did an investigation on Saturday where, again, we were getting responses from the flashlight.
Lots of responses. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we came home, I said to Rob, all right, let's see if these will overheat and turn on by themselves. We left them on for 4 hours and they never went on.
Not even a flicker.
Not even a flicker.
Nothing.
So that when it goes on when you ask it to, and it goes off when you ask it to me,
there's something there. There's something doing that.
Yes. I believe that.
Energy-wise, yeah.
I believe that. Anyway, orbs we're not fans of because too often it's a bug or it's dust or it's water vapor.
What you missed, Ted, was I said, wouldn't it be great if we found out that orbs were snow globes?
There you go.
Paranormal's logo.
No, aren't you sorry you missed that?
Aren't you?
I want to go back to what you were saying about the flashlight. Scientifically, one of the things that happens with the flashlight is that the energy, like when you unscrew it a little bit, the energy that's coming from those batteries has to go somewhere. So it fills up that cavity, and so that it releases, that energy comes up and it turns the flashlight on to release it. That's what it is scientifically. But there are people that stand by the flashlight, saying that, hey, no, I have left it on till it ran dead, and it never went off until the batteries were dead. And
okay,
then
I did it. That's what I just said to you. Maybe you didn't hear this part. I turned those flashlights on, okay, for 4 hours.
Not on,
but ready to turn on if a spirit wanted to turn it on, right?
Mhm.
Left them on for 4 hours, all 3 of the flashlights. They never came on.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
done that every single time because I have trouble believing it too. However, if it was going to turn on with this stored up energy, wouldn't it have turned on during those 4 hours? And our investigation didn't even last that long. And it was going on and off on command.
Right. And I agree with you. I mean, I'm a skeptic still on a lot of this stuff, but you have to give it, there's got to be a measurement, there has to be something. And if you're using this, say, over 25 years and you're doing exactly the same, and every 4 hours you leave it on, nothing happens, but yet you go on an investigation, it happens. My thought is, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a journal and I'm going to write down flashlight, and I'm going to write down where I was, the time it was, and when it came on, how long it took for it to come on. I would be timing it, to be honest with you.
That's what we do. We time it, and I write it down. And
right.
so
I mean, you have to keep some type of record of it.
Yep, we've got it written down. We have it written down, as a matter of fact.
And what good is
that's
it
how I know
if it isn't responsive to something you're asking? Once it's not responsive, then it's no good. I mean, there's no point in it, even.
Right.
It's just the light going on.
If you sit there for the entire investigation, say it's 2.5, 3 hours, and you're asking questions and there's no response and the light never comes on,
which we've had that happen.
Yeah.
Right. Then you've got to chalk it up and say, okay, well, I don't know at this point,
Yeah, exactly.
But you go to a different location and then it happens, Some of those flashlights, you can actually mark it with a marker of where, how far you turned it. So that the last time, turn it to the same spot. And I think that's what you have to do is you have to make an experiment out of it and log it for a long period of time and say, this is what I got. Unfortunately, science is going to say no.
Oh, science will never accept that.
No.
But they're never, if you put flour down on the floor and you get footsteps overnight, footprints overnight, science isn't going to accept that either, because you can't prove that nobody went up there and walked through the flour. You know what I mean? Because
even if you put a camera on it, they're going to say, oh, you manipulated the film.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or the same thing with Bigfoot prints. I mean,
right.
They find Bigfoot prints.
That's
Either
true.
you believe them or you don't.
It's belief. We know this, especially with different cultures, belief systems, civilizations. Belief is very strong. It's very big, and it's all across this world. So if you believe enough, if that's your belief, your core belief on whatever the case may be, so for you, it's your truth. It's what you believe, and nobody should or can prove you wrong until it's done. But belief is a big, powerful thing. It's kind of like love. You know what I mean? It's like nobody sees love, nobody tastes love, nobody. It's like the belief in God. Nobody sees God or Jesus, but yes, the belief is there. And we accept the belief without even asking questions. So why is it so hard in the paranormal to just say, hey, I believe?
Right.
And that's because there's too many people like myself that want more. I'm just not happy with one thing.
But then we go back to what we were talking about originally. What's important is what you believe and how you conduct your investigations and what you're learning. Now, whether anybody else gets anything from it or not, it doesn't matter. You're out there in the field and you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, my grandmother left me a statement, and the statement was, in every story there's an ounce of truth. Finding that truth is your truth. It's you finding it. It doesn't, that truth doesn't belong to anybody else. That's yours.
Exactly. And like you said, using your body as the best instrument, you can't prove that scientifically, but you know what's happening, and you know what happened when you were there. And that's the only thing that's important. When we go to like a client's house, all right, and we're investigating, the first thing you want to do is debunk. You want to prove that there's nothing crazy, scary going on there.
You don't want to go in there with a preconceived idea that the place is already haunted. You don't want to do that. You're setting yourself up for failure right from the beginning.
Right. You want to go in there and you know, try and open doors with other doors open, with the window open, with the air conditioning on, with the heat on, whatever. You know, you have to go through all that stuff. Right. And then move on from there. We're getting comments. Let me see.
And then your end result, hopefully, will be something that's going to help that person that's struggling.
That's what you're,
you know, either on the other side or the person in the house.
I know.
The majority, I want to make a comment to the majority. That is exactly a lot that we're dealing with. Is even today, after 50 years of investigations with people such as Dr. Hans Holzer, or Eddie Rain Warren. I mean, 50 years of investigating, there are still people out there that will never believe. Like, just an example today, I have a brand new vehicle, and in my vehicles, I've always put Genesee Valley Paranormal Investigators on it. And I've always done that so that people know, you know, and they all look at me kooky sometimes, but I don't care. I live in a small town. But you know what? When something happens, they call me. So, you know, it's the same with the new vehicle, except this time I have a bug shield on the front, and I put it on the front as well as the back and the side windows and stuff like that. But I had a couple guys come out of the restaurant where I was eating, and they're just like pointing at my truck and laughing. And so I just rolled down the window. I said, 38 years of investigating the same thing over and over and over. What do you got?
Yeah, just your unbelief.
Yeah. So Marjorie said, I think it's because it makes people feel uncomfortable. They'd rather deny the existence of those things. That was the question he was answering.
And George Dismuke says, the proof is in history itself. For thousands of years, cultures around the world have spoken of spirits without exception. So are millions of people throughout the ages wrong? Yeah. Don't think so, George.
And that's what I've already said, that if you look at different civilizations and religions and faiths and so on and so forth down the line, they all have this belief one way or another. So how can millions of years of humanoids, that's what I'm going to call them, you know, you can't just throw it away. There's something to it. And then you go back to what I told you earlier. In every story, there's an ounce of truth, and it's for you to find out what the truth is.
Right. And I really believe that whatever works for you, and you need to go with that. And
because nobody else is wrong. I mean, we're in a research that has no standards to follow. We have no book, you know, saying, you know, from accredited people saying that this is how you have to do it, and this is what your finalization is, and all this. We don't have that. We're probably never going to have that.
What I really love are people that are saying, well, the amateur, you know, paranormal investigators. And I'm like, we're all amateurs.
We are. And where did this start from? Where does this start from? Whether you're a 2-year investigator or a 50-year investigator, that 50-year investigator started as an amateur because he or she didn't know either. Yeah. So stop criticizing others. Stop criticizing others and help. Teach them what you know and pass on. That's the other thing about this field. And that's why I created the book, so that I could pass on the knowledge from myself and from Keith, so that it's out there. So people can pick up the book. It's cheap. You pick it up. It's written relatively to the point where you can read it easily. And then after that, I just said, you know what? I want to put out my ideas from old school paranormal. So that's why I wrote the second book.
Let me show this. The Egyptians and George Dismuke says, the Egyptians and the Maya made mummies for the same reason, the dead person's journey through the afterlife. Right. And George says the Greeks spoke of crossing the river Styx, which was very similar to what the Egyptians and the Mayan were saying. And let let's bring up that second book. Okay, so let me show his first book again. So this is Flashlight Recorder and Comfortable Shoes. And his point is, you don't need anything else. You don't need any $1,000 pieces of equipment and FLIR cameras and stuff. You can just go out there with your flashlight and your recorder. And this one is Think Outside the Paranormal Box by Ted VANSON.
Things are opening up.
Things are opening up. What? Tell us what.
Do you know what's funny about that is that where it says down at the bottom, things are opening up.
Yeah.
I originally had a line and I could not remember it when I was putting the book together. For the life of me, I couldn't. But it matched the title, and so today, since 2019, I still cannot remember what that line was supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be things are opening up. I think it was something like ideas are coming or blowing up or coming out or what. I have no idea. I don't remember. So when I was putting the book together, all I could do is look at the front of it and laugh hysterical and say, "Oh my God, your memory's shot. What are you doing here? You know, do you really want to send this book out with a title that you weren't comfortable with?" And so I did. Anyways.
So what is in that book?
That book, believe it or not, it kind of goes back to the idea of flashlight recorder and comfortable shoes. When you do not have to have, or you don't have to spend $500 on a ghost box, because those things are going up to like $5,000 right now.
I know.
You don't have to buy that stuff. And nothing against the people that make them, but you don't need it. Okay. K2s, they cost $65, $59, whatever they are. You don't need it.
Unless you got one for finding studs in your wall anyway.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of different tools that you don't need. So the book basically comes out and it tells you, why don't you try using the tools you have in your closet that's been piling up, or the stuff in your drawers, or the stuff you can get from your local restaurant. So that's what I did. I put it together. Some of the experiments I used, and some of them I didn't. I just thought it was a pretty cool idea, and I'm going to use them in the future. You know, and a lot of that is based on the fact that if ghosts exist, if spirits exist, and we are constantly, I don't know how many years it's been told that they drain batteries, they just drain equipment, you know, so because they don't have enough energy to, I don't know, say move a piece of paper, or, you know, Patrick Swayze, like putting the penny up the door. You know, you have to think that if they exist, they don't have the energy, so you want the lightest tools that you can find. So a dollar bill, a feather, a balloon, you know what I mean? A wrapper from a straw.
Yeah, something easy to move. Yeah.
Something easy to manipulate. So in that book, you're going to find stuff like that. The banana rack. I mean, the banana rack has been around for a while, and if you believe in using the pendulum, it's a banana rack.
Yeah.
That way you're not touching it. It's just sitting there by itself. Same with the dowsing rods. I hate the dowsing rods, just to say. But get yourself that green foam that they put the fake flowers in. Put the dowsing rods in there, set it in the location, and start asking your questions, and let's see if it moves.
Instead of maybe the heat of your hands or whatever moving.
We already know that there's electrical impulses that go up and through our arms, so that will automatically make those things move. There's so many things that we have to look at scientifically when it comes to the devices that we use. Not even scientifically, just basic knowledge. You know, and just say, hey.
Like you said, if your body is your best, you know, tool, which I think it is, we're all electromagnetic energy, right? And some of us have different degrees of electromagnetic energy. Like I have, for me, I used to blow up every coffee maker we had. It just by me being around it, you know?
I can't wear a watch.
If I can wear a watch. I used to not be able to wear them. I turn silver black if I wear silver on my person. I mean, you know, all of us have electromagnetic energy. That's what life is made about. And it's all over the whole universe, you know?
Electromagnetic, well, let's just put it this way. EMF, there's two different types of electromagnetic fields. There's your man-made, and then your natural.
Yes.
So determining which is it isn't very hard because you can buy devices today that'll tell you where it is. But it's like gas. You can't see it.
Right.
You can taste gas, but you
Yeah.
can't EMF.
Yeah.
Our bodies, like, and here's an experiment for somebody. Get out the K2 and stick it in one hand. Okay? And then in your other hand, just try moving it around. Do this and see if that K2 goes off. It probably isn't going to. But
Try.
if you put two magnetic balls in this hand and you rub them together, roll them around, this K2 is going to go off. Why? Because you're causing that friction, that electricity between them that goes through you. You know what I'm saying? So and I may have said that wrong in some place, but still, if you do this, you move those magnets around while they're touching and hitting, the K2 is going to go off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back, or not back. I'm actually going to say something that I disagree with some of the paranormal community. And Kenny Biddle is one of my favorite people, and I always use him. He's one of the biggest skeptics out there, and I use him because you have to have that other side of the coin. Okay, you need that.
Right.
But I have been told by people that this is not how this works. You don't want to do this. This is not how it works. The problem is that I've had it work. So now what? So when you're doing an experiment, like you're investigating and something happens and it's not supposed to, you've got something. Keep working with it. Because no matter what anybody else says, this is your truth. It's your way of investigating the situations. And you have to. You have to do your experiments. If you don't, then you're just chasing your tail in this field, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
We need to pause for a minute for our
commercial
break, and we'll be
Go
right
ahead.
back.
Another word from our sponsor.
Go
We'll be
ahead.
right back.
Commercial.
And then we have
You can dance.
we have two questions that we need to get to, Marjorie. And
Many secrets are hidden within the darkness of the jungle. Behold, this one about a man, a woman, a black jaguar, and an ancient Maya legend. Two Faces of the Jaguar is a novel by George Dismukes that will take you deep into the jungle and capture your imagination until the last word. Two Faces of the Jaguar is book one of a trilogy. Two Faces of the Jaguar, where only the adventurous dare to read.
Two Faces of the Jaguar, The Lost City, and The Jaguar's Quest are available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and many other bookseller websites. Two Faces of the Jaguar, the book people are talking about. Get your copy today.
Live every Wednesday, your Voice of Indie hosts Beam Weeks and Stephen G's welcome authors, musicians, publishing industry pros, artists, and assorted creative guests for an exciting interactive hour. Call in during the show or post questions and comments on Twitter for responses in real time. Meet your favorite indie creators, learn inside tips, network, and promote your work. The link for each week's show is pinned on Twitter atop @VoiceOfIndie. And you can receive the link every Wednesday morning in your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter at freshinkgroup.com. Check out Voice of Indie every Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio and catch hundreds of episodes archived everywhere from our websites to our YouTube channel and Spotify.
And we're back.
okay, Marjorie Deering has a comment.
Hey.
She said, Rob and Joan
Nice
have
hat.
heard the few things that have happened to me. I had no equipment, wasn't looking for the experiences, but they still took place. I didn't need anything. The experiences just happened.
That's right.
That's right, Marjorie. And then George has
That's the way it normally happens, though. I mean, it's sorry to interrupt, but that's the way it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
In Siren Song 2, Angie Holland is assisted by ancient Greek spirits. Do you think some people can actually communicate with spirits to that degree?
well, that's a tough question to answer. when you sit in the middle of this whole thing, okay, like, let's use Psychic Cindy for an example, okay?
Psychic Cindy has a show on our radio station.
Yeah, just Cindy, yep. But anyway, she goes into a location. I tell her nothing, okay? She goes into a location. She comes out and she tells me what she's getting, what she gets, and what I try to do is validate it. There are times that I can validate what she's saying, which is great. So that means she's talking to spirits. So who am I to say she isn't? I just make sure that in my investigations, I do it a certain way. So I'm just not, it's so tough in this field because Dr. Hans Holzer used psychic mediums in all of his work.
Yes, he did. And Lorraine was a psychic.
Right. So they used all the information that they have gotten and put it towards their studies and their research on the paranormal.
Yes.
Okay. So who am I to say that they're wrong?
Right.
But for me, I want more, and that's why with my case studies with this stuff, I actually go beyond that point. Like I said, I'm going to start walking around with a shirt that says "I need more" because that's just me. Because I just can't take this like this. I need more. If we're ever going to get to any type of answer, or even come close to an answer, or an arrow at a direction to an answer, we need to be a little more aggressive towards how we investigate and how we collect our so-called evidence. And we have to be aggressive on experiments. So do you want to believe?
And what we do?
Maybe.
I think we should share it too with everybody. All right. Now Les gets all of the calls. We have a number of sensitives on our team. And so we don't know anything. We go in cold like Cindy does. So we don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
we don't even know the address until we're on the way there.
Right. And
that kind of stinks.
No,
but I get it. That way you can't look up information.
Right.
The week before, I will start getting pictures of what the house looks like, what the colors are, what rooms are active, and things like that. And so then when we go in, and I don't know, Beth, maybe you can, I know you're in the audience, so maybe you can tell us if that happens for you too. But I know she gets a lot of stuff once we're there.
Cindy does that. There's a lot of psychic mediums that do that. In fact, myself, when I've gotten calls and we're going someplace, I've always been able to say, okay, well, how many rooms? I try to take notes for myself. Okay, so here's the location. How many rooms? Where do I feel things are happening? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I compare it to when I get there.
Exactly.
Cindy believes that everybody's psychic. It's just taking and honing the tool that you have, if that's the right word. Honing, what I don't know, but
yeah.
So, I'm just a strong believer that if you're going to do anything, do it to the best of your ability, and kind of look. That's why my book says think outside the paranormal box, because if we don't do that, we're limiting ourselves. I had a college professor that told me the world looks like this too much. They need to start looking like this, because if they don't, then we're never going to be able to evolve. We're never going to be able to say, hey, we're never going back to do that again.
That's why we need
we're doomed to repeat ourselves in so many things.
That's why we need dialogue with each other, and we need to listen with an open mind. You can't listen with a closed mind already with your set belief.
I truly believe that every team should have a connection to more teams, and everybody should be sharing what they have.
I do too, networking. Beth says occasionally she gets that stuff too, but I know Beth gets a lot once we're there. She gets more than I do once we're there.
What do we do? His contacts?
Yeah, we better do your contacts so people can buy your books, and also do the book giveaway before.
Well, it's easy. It's easy enough for them. They can go over to Amazon. They can go to Barnes and Noble. They can it's even available through Walmart. They can just go and look for the book and buy the author, and they can go to my website. I believe there's links there as well. for gbpi.org. It might even be on paratalkradio.com.
It's on indiebooksource.com, both your books. If they go to indiebooksource.com, there are direct links to both your books so they can buy them.
Awesome. See? Easy.
That is easy. So, but if you do want to reach Mr. Ted here, his website is gvpi.org. Okay.
And there's connected emails and stuff on there as well.
Perfect. And his Facebook is WLFE-DB Radio. And you've never heard those words before, have you? Every week. Okay.
There's a lot of ways to get a hold of me. A lot of ways. And I prefer email and such over phone. I don't really hand out my phone number, so I prefer email or a note if you find me, on Facebook or wherever.
Okay, everybody, the book giveaway, the first 2 people to email needgvpi@gmail.com will win a paperback copy of one of Ted's books. U.S. only. He'll mail it out to you.
We'll keep that ticker going.
There's the email right there.
Yep.
Okay. And you'll get a paperback copy of one of his books.
I'm glad we got that out there.
So
I'll sign it. And if you have any questions, you can certainly email me, and I would answer those as soon as I can.
Will you put a psychic impression on them?
Or have psychics?
Psychic Cindy put her impression
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, let me show you those. Where did they go? Up, down. Sorry, I have a million things on here. Here we go.
Yeah, we got too many things on there.
Flashlight, recorder, and comfortable shoes, which, by the way, I really love this cover.
Great covers.
And think outside the paranormal box. That's good too.
I love that book. It's so easy to read. I wrote it, put it together, and I'm like, I got to read my own book and see how long it takes me to read it. Any guess on how long it took me?
Less than a day.
How about 45 minutes?
Okay. It's what is he saying is it's an easy read. Buy the book.
Were there any spoiler alerts?
Easy read. And so book 3 and book 4, I'm working on them too separately, but I'm working on them. And one of the other things I wanted to read, I also create coloring books for Buddy the Bigfoot. I didn't know if you wanted me to mention that or not, but Buddy the Bigfoot.
Mention anything you want to mention, Ted.
Okay, Buddy the Bigfoot is the creation that we have for WLFE-DB Radio. He's actually the mascot. And what we have done is we have put him in New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. And what he does is he goes out to the kids and he hands them coloring books, but he also is there to teach them a lesson about the earth, working with a farmer, how to treat people, so on and so forth down the line. He's been doing cancer, children's cancer things. He's been going out and being seen. Like we were just at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash that had thousands of people there. We raised so much money. It was great. It was raised $18,000 in 2 days. Wow. And and Buddy was there and made an appearance, and the kids love it to get hugs with him. And he was handing out suckers this time too. So the kids were loving it. So were the adults, but so Buddy the Bigfoot, if you look for him, just put Buddy the Bigfoot as one word. Don't separate it. Buddy the Bigfoot on Facebook, you can find him. But he's available for all different types of things as well.
That's awesome.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I was going to say something.
We might have him in Nebraska soon, just so you know.
Oh, what are you going to be doing in Nebraska?
Buddy the Bigfoot.
Buddy, what will he be
They're
doing?
going to put him there.
Yeah, it looks like Nebraska may be the next state that Buddy will be going to.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So do you want to say anything about the radio station?
Oh, we can. If they can go to WLFE-DB.com. That is our little network. We are trying right now to move on to some bigger, better things. There are a ton of shows like Joan and Rob's. There's Paratalk Radio with myself and Cindy. There's Step Into the Paranormal. We're going to be adding some new shows. We're also going to be simulcasting on Apple TV and Roku. So they're going to be able to find us in more locations. But they can find us as as just vocally too as a podcast from Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, Google Play, podcast. Yeah, there's just iHeartRadio. Yeah, that's a big one too. But there's so many places, and all they have to do is put in their favorite show. Yeah. They just have to put in their favorite show or put in WLFE-DB Radio, and it should come up as well.
Yeah, we have a lot of people download the podcast.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the podcast, and it's great because if you're driving, you don't have time to watch it, but you can at least listen to it.
Yeah.
But it's the same as when you're at home and you have nothing else to watch because your favorite soap opera isn't on for some reason or whatever. You can, watch us on Stream TV as well, which is STRIMM.TV.com. And you can find WLFE there. You can find Paranormal View, which is our paranormal television network. We also have the LGBTQ Friends, and we have Variety Unlimited over there as well. So you can see all the different shows that we have available. And they're uploaded new ones or live. I mean, you get them any way we can get them.
Have you watched yourself on the big screen yet?
Yes.
I did that once. I'm not doing it again because I'll never do another podcast.
It's kind of like when I did Paranormal Survivor, and then I did Ghost Nation with Jason Haas. It's like they always see me, like you see me standing in the back of the room, and I'm just like, oh my God, look at that guy.
You look good on that. I wanted to say that. Wanted to mention that. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so the best evidence I have ever seen, you guys, and you need to look this up, seriously, is on Ghost Nation on their first season, episode 10. I think it's called Amelia, and it was Ted's house. It was his investigation. And Jason Hawes and Steve Gonsalves and Dave Tango came out, and they investigated there with Ted. The best evidence I have ever seen. Yeah. We were watching the episode, and we saw Amelia walk through, and we were like, oh my God.
Oh, Joan, let me tell you, when the alarm went off for the camera, I'm not going to spoil it. But when the alarm went off for the camera, this happened at, I don't even know what time, but we got the phone call at the hotel. Now, we were there for 7 days, and Psychic Cindy was actually with me. And we were there for 7 days, and Jason called me and says, you need to come to the house. So we get to the house, and all I can tell you is that we watched it 10 times easily, and our jaw dropped, and we're like, wow.
Several times.
We watched it at least 10 times too. It's seriously, and amazing. Then a while later, Jason did one of those after shows talking about the best thing, and every time he mentions that episode, he says,
that's the Ithaca episode, and I believe it's called Amelia's.
Is it on the Travel Channel?
Ghost or Amelia? I don't know. It is on Travel Channel still, I think. I know it's on Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus, yeah.
Yeah, so
Ghost Nation.
Ghost Nation. It's just an amazing catch. We would have never, and just real quick, that location actually had another team there, and they left this guy hanging, and then he called me to come to investigate his house. I got off the phone with him. Travel Channel called me and said, hey, I have this place. Can you go check it out for me? I go, wait a minute. Is this guy's name David? They're like, yeah. How did you know that? I go, because he just called me. And so the lady on the other end of the phone said, this was a meant to be situation. You needed to go do this.
Wow.
That's right.
That's my story, and I'll stick to it.
George Dismuke says, and he's really funny, great show, a lot of spirit.
A lot of spirit.
Paul Holland says, very fascinating show. Thanks, Joan, Rob, and Ted. You're welcome.
You are welcome.
During says, fascinating topic. Thanks, all. You're so welcome. I think, the this show, I know everybody loved and will loved, and the podcast, they're going to all love it. And the only other one I think that probably was this much excitement was when Bob and Jim were on. When remember they'd been on your show?
Yep.
And then we wanted to have them on our show, and they came on our show, and that
We
was
added
like,
in an abductee as well.
yeah, we had an abductee who wrote a book.
That was
on
interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So anyway,
it was about as interesting as that one guy that you had on your show that one time.
The guy driving through Texas, and
You know.
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
I'll tell you, I love the paranormal field, and
I do.
I hate writing books. To be honest with you, I hate it.
Do you?
But I oh my gosh, I hate it. I hate it. But I love the investigation. I love the research. I wish I could find somebody to just follow me around and write my books for me. To be honest with you,
ghost writer.
Yes.
Yes.
I need a ghost.
Yes, that's why they call it a ghost writer. Yeah.
We know some ghost writers.
We do actually.
We do.
Really?
Yeah, really. Who write books for other people?
Well,
I know it's.
Let's check this email. Let's see if anybody's.
Has anybody applied for the? I think everybody was too busy listening, but maybe they wanted a free book.
I know.
No. Yes, maybe.
Not that I see right now.
Okay, guys, get typing.
We got a couple of books to give away, so.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have a problem.
at gmail.com.
Yep. So definitely, if you're interested in a free book, there you go. Even if you don't believe, I'm sure there's somebody that you know that would like a real cool book, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah. And plus you make it easy for people to get out there and get in the field and do it, you know?
You know, I think everybody has something to bring to the table when it comes to the paranormal. Nobody should ever be left out. And so my belief is that if you get out there and you investigate, you might find something that I was unable to. And it's the same with you, John or Joan or Rob. And I almost put your names together, so it was Roan or, Job. You know, I really think that we have to work together on this stuff. And like, if you like paranormal shows and stuff like that, especially like this on our network, come over and, Prayer Talk Radio is a great place to go. Where's My Sage? Step into the paranormal. Keystone Paranormal has their own show as well, and we'll be bringing some more out. If you're interested and you just want to check it out, it doesn't cost you anything to do it.
There you go.
Right. Right.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been awesome. I don't know whether you want to get going because you're working or whether you want to sit off to the side while we close. It's up to you.
I think I'm going to go, but I just want to say, thank you for having me on. And for the next 12 to 24 hours, I'll wait and see if I get some emails on the books, and we'll go from there.
It might be even later than that once it goes out to podcasts. A lot of the authors get people saying, "Oh, hey, did I miss out?"
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I'll take the first two. Oh, wait a minute.
Beth Riley says, "Great show." Yeah.
Beth Gregory is the first one.
Oh,
Beth, good for you.
You won a book. All right.
Yeah, so there's one.
All right.
I'll read it when you're done with it, Beth.
There you go.
I can't believe you don't have one yet.
Our team founders.
We could buy our own copy.
We could buy one.
We could.
We'll buy one.
That's a keeping author out. When you buy a book.
Yes, absolutely. That's the whole. That's the whole purpose of our show. Is that's what
contrary to what some people believe, paranormal investigators do not charge for their investigations.
No.
And as you can see, I'm wearing the shirt. It says Genesee Valley Paranormal Investigators. I live this. I love it.
You too.
Carl Mitchell just won the second.
Hey, all right. Ding, 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 ding. We have
a
winner.
Two votes.
Anybody
now,
else?
see, this is one of our shirts, Tampa Bay Spirits.
Everything
awesome.
For these.
Let me stand up. Let me show you. This is all reflective.
Nice.
So when you're out in the field and you have in the dark, because we do it in the dark,
right?
We do.
It actually reflects, so you know where your members are. So it's actually pretty good. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many times, you're moving around the camera and, like, what is that? If you have something reflective, it helps to determine, who it is. So
Awesome.
Beth says, great tea, Joan. Yeah, it's new in our store, in our Tampa Bay Spirit store. I like it too, Beth. I'm wearing it too.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's
that,
really cool.
That goes to funding our investigations.
Yeah, because not only do paranormal investigators not get paid, but we have to pay our own way everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So.
That's why, like, some of us, we applied and we've been nonprofit for New York State since 2008. We actually do the Rochester Parafest to help us raise funds so that we can purchase new equipment or gas or whatever the case may be, because it does get expensive, especially today at like $4.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I've had people when I've done there, because we do residential, we don't do businesses, we don't, and I don't pay to investigate, I just won't. But with residential, I've had people say, oh, well, we're going to get you a pizza and we're going to leave you some soda and stuff like that, which is fantastic. I would never take direct money from them, but if they're willing to leave cookies, I can play Santa Claus. That's for sure.
There you go.
The investigation that we did Saturday night, they
put out a spread.
They did.
Yeah.
See, that's awesome. If you're a foodie like me, you're a big guy. You like to eat. So,
we're doing 3 investigations in Tennessee actually in September. So,
wow.
George Dismuke
we
says,
have to get together sometime.
Yep. I was going to say that. By the way, the Hindus call their money Diwali, which means ghost. So that's interesting.
That's because it goes from one hand to another and it disappears so fast.
Yeah.
It ghosts from one hand.
Well,
I have a location. I have a location for you guys to investigate now.
In upstate New York?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. It's actually, 30 yards behind me to that direction.
Yeah.
Built in the 1800s, 1893, I think, or 1896. Teddy Roosevelt was there.
Wow.
Cool.
And it's 3 floors.
Awesome.
And it's got, the top has where the very first motion pictures in Livingston County in New York was actually seen, was there.
No way. That's so cool.
A lot of history there.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a lot of history, yeah. And the bowling alley is like right across from it, and we've got stuff here too. So
I bet our team would like to do that.
Yeah. We can find a motel to stick you up in. It's not a problem.
We have a travel trailer.
Oh, there you go. You can sleep in your trailer.
We sleep in our we
pull up in your front yard.
Travel all around in our trailer. Yeah, pull up in your front yard.
Yeah, I got property like 10 minutes from here with a camp that you can just pull it up there and stay.
Wow.
Awesome. And that's what we're using in Tennessee. We're camping at
Hales
Bar and Marina.
Nice.
You know that, right?
Hales Bar.
That place.
That's what they say.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
We're going over to
you guys
Chickamauga Battlefield too.
Oh, that's gonna be nice.
Beth goes road trip.
Yep, exactly.
We're also going to the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital too, which is all right there.
Which we have to pay for that.
We're paying for that.
I really
Joan and Rob, you guys should throw up live investigations like on WLFE. Just find a night, let me know, and if you guys want to do a live investigation, we'll make it happen.
Well,
are you listening, Beth and Les?
Beth, we'll give you guys if you guys ever want to do that, we'll throw you over on Paranormal View and you guys can do your live investigation.
Our audience would like that too. Yeah. Maybe we should do that at
Hales Bar
and Marina, because that's where that big whirlpool is.
Yep.
They put that dam up that never worked. And yes, Beth said let's do that. I think so. Let's do that, Beth. And because it's Indian, and how busy those spirits are. I'm sure you've dealt with it. Yeah. Because
up in your neck of the woods.
We used
Do you
to
want to know how many battlefields I've done?
us too.
Yeah, yeah.
And when Cindy says everyone's psychic, I believe that too. Just ask anybody. We were talking about the body being your best instrument. Ask anybody who's ever gone anywhere in Gettysburg. They are going to tell you they felt the atmosphere there.
Atmosphere, yeah.
We stay in the same motel every time we're there, and the reason we stay there and in the same room is because
it's cuckoo.
Oh my! your TV sits on a stand, and the stand is the doors underneath and stuff, and I close it, and every morning I get up, that damn thing is open.
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, and there's a closet there, and it's like I won't hang anything in the closet because there's just too much noise in there. Like I'm not sticking nothing in there, So, but yeah, I finally got to the point where I started putting cameras. I bought the automobile cameras that you can get, and I just plug it in and I stick it to the suction cup to the TV, and I turn it towards the room, and I just let it record all night long. Believe me, you don't want to hear me snore though or talk in my sleep. That was yeah.
We can't do a live feed from Old South St. Pittsburgh Hospital. We can't do a live feed from there, but we could do a live feed from Hales Bar and Marina, and we could do a live feed
just right at the
from,
campground there if it's active. Yeah.
Chickamauga or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Beth and Les are staying in a floating cabin, so they're going to be on water.
They'll be on the water.
So I'm like,
that'd be cool.
As long as they don't go down the whirlpool.
The big suck, they call it.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That's even the name of the road is Suck Road.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No comment. The next thing is that you can actually go live over here if you guys decide you're ever going to come up here, because we're going to open it up around October for investigations for teams, just so that we can figure out what's going on.
Cool. That's so cool. Get a bunch of different people in there.
We cleaned that basement out. I know we did 100%.
Yeah.
But we found something in the center of one of the rooms, and it was an old shoe from a child from like the 1920s.
Oh.
Wow. Cool.
So, yeah, there's stuff that happens over there. Do I believe? We'll see.
Have you ever been to Sloss?
No.
They won't let you come in anymore, but we were there, and we were there with Adam Berry.
Yeah.
And
Adam's awesome.
Yeah, I loved Adam. And Joe Chin was there too. But Adam and I saw a little girl. We saw a full-bodied apparition.
Nice. Yeah, Adam and his husband just celebrated 10 years, I think, or something like that.
I think it's something like that.
That's awesome.
It really is. I remember when they got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Well, I'm gonna leave you guys with a little thought that if you're gonna investigate, just go out there, try it.
Yes.
Please don't run. Make sure you have a flashlight and never go alone.
And have permission to be where you're going.
Yeah, please do not trespass. That is not something you want to do.
No trespassing. Permission only. Yep.
Yeah. And have fun with it. And if ever I can help, you got my email. So just send me an email, and I'll try and do the best I can for you.
And I will tell you this: we travel to a lot of national parks and state parks, and we've never had the rangers say, "No, you can't investigate." They've always said.
The only place I know that with Gettysburg, you can't be there past a certain time, but you can still investigate during the day.
When it closes at 10 o'clock or whenever it closes, you can't investigate there anymore. But every national park we've ever gone to, not only have they been excited to have us there, they've told us where the activity is.
Yeah. George says, I think it would be frightening to do an investigation in some place like Auschwitz.
It would be so sad, George.
It would be very sad.
It would be
I want to go over to where Jack the Ripper was, and I want to go through the whole thing where he did. And see what energy is left behind.
Whitechapel.
Yeah.
In the alleys of Whitechapel where he did the murders. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see what energy is left behind.
I'm sure there's a lot of energy left behind. That's what we're thinking of Old South Pittsburgh. It's going to be a lot of energy. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, I have to go back to work.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll sell some books.
There you go.
Buy some books, people.
Buy some books. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay,
Well,
guys.
everybody.
That was fun. That was fun for us.
That was good. Yeah, that was fun.
I hope it was fun for everybody else because I really had a good time. Oh, my goodness.
Next week, and this kind of follows suit, next week, same time, next Wednesday, another live show at 7 o'clock. We have a horror author, and he writes post-apocalyptic zombie books.
Oh.
Ken Stark.
I think a lot of you probably know Ken Stark. He's been around for a while.
Yeah. So he's going to be on next Wednesday. It should be a fun time with him. Interesting because, that's a topic and a half. And then, of course, episode rewind is Saturday, Tory Gates. We already mentioned that, 5:30 p.m. right here where you're watching right now or listening. And on Wednesday, October 5th is the next event. That's Magnolia Bluff Crime Chronicles Reveal number 3. Linda Pirtle, Kelly Marshall, and Jinx Schwartz bring out the next 3 books for Magnolia Bluff.
The last 3.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I finally finished Eulogy in Black and White. And Caleb, I'll have that review in there in the next day or two for you. It was a very positive experience. Enjoyed it very much. And I've already gotten into Cindy Davis's book, The Great Peanut Butter Conspiracy.
And George says, "Oh, you said horror. Phew."
Yeah. Yes, George. Yes, George. And earlier I said exotic. Oh, boy. Okay. All right.
Okay, guys.
Whew. It's been a long night.
It's been a long night. We went way over, but it was worth it.
Thanks for hanging in.
Such
You've
a great
been a
audience.
great audience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's that time again, right? It will be that time in just a moment. Okay. Until next time.
That's all, folks.
Thank you for joining us here on Meet the Author. Make sure you stay up to date with our show by clicking like, follow, and share. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and more. See you next time on WLFE-DB.com.
You've been listening to WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.